Hello everybody, in this video I'm going to look at how to do the 12-mark question 2s on component 3 in A-level politics. These are the ones where it's just one question, so you've got no option but to do that one that they give you, and it's the one in which you have to use at least one of the comparative theories, and I'm going to go through a bit of detail on that and also refer you to another video I've done already on comparative theories. So the compulsory comparative question, it's question 2 on the paper, no choice, it's compulsory. You have to use at least one of the 3 comparative theories, either rational, cultural or structural, or you can use multiple of them. And the question will always start with the stem analyze. You are aiming to write 3 comparative paragraphs. There's no need for an introduction, there's no need for a conclusion. So here are some example questions. Specimen paper 1, analyse the differences in party unity in the US and the UK. In your answer you must consider the relevance of at least one comparative theory. Specimen paper 2, analyse how independent the Supreme Courts are in the US and the UK. In your answer you must consider the relevance of at least one comparative theory. So they're quite different actually, those two ones. The first is very straightforward, it's just a key difference question. The second is a little bit different in terms of you're looking at how independent they are, and you would again you've got to make sure you are doing that comparison, and so each one you're saying, well, in this way this is more independent than that, and again it would appear that really what you're doing is a difference question. It's just not phrased in quite as straightforward a way. As I already mentioned, the stem will always be analysed. Now, the example tells us by this they mean to deconstruct ideas, issues or information in detail in order to find connections, similarities and or differences and provide evidence for reasoned thinking. So that sounds straightforward then. Well, actually it is fairly straightforward in that it's telling you it's a similarity or difference question. So no matter how the stem might not quite look perfect, because that's what its analyses about, then you are looking at connections or similarities or differences. So it should be fairly straightforward in that. It has to be comparative. You need to give an idea of reasoned thinking. So you need to be coming up with some kind of argument about the difference or the similarity or what it is. So in the question, analyse the different legislative powers of the UK Parliament and the US Congress, you'd explain 3 or more differences in legislative powers, detailing why they are different and using examples from both the US and the UK. And we're going to look at this in a bit more detail later in the video. The theoretical approaches are really important, and you have to make sure you use at least one of these in the question. In your answers to the question. So you have the rational one, which focuses on individuals mainly within the political system and suggests that they make rational decisions. Choosing a particular way to act will give them a beneficial outcome. So, for example, things like self-interest. There's a cultural approach which focuses on groups within the political system. So, for example, voters or parties or pressure groups and so on. And the cultural approach suggests that there are shared ideas and beliefs and values, and that will guide people to act in a particular way. And then there's the structural approach, is my particular favourite, which it focuses on the institutions in the political system and the processes within it. A lot of things about how the system is set up, the structure of it, how the constitution is set up, things like that. And the structural approach suggests outcomes are likely to be determined by the formal processes laid out within the political system. Right, if you want more on these comparative approaches, these theoretical approaches, then I have done a video on this already, and you can see the details of that up above me in the link to the side. And I suggest if you need to find out more about that in preparation for doing a question 2, I suggest you have a watch of that one as well. So what should your answer look like? There should be 3 paragraphs, as I've already said, and for example, on this answer, analyse the different legislative powers of the UK Parliament, US Congress, then I would have each one which would start with a particular difference. So I might have one on the US Congress has more legislative powers than the UK, and that's I would use the structural ideas, theoretical concepts on that one. My second difference might be legislative power is shared equally in the US chambers, but the House of Lords in the UK is very much second fiddle. It doesn't have anywhere near the same kind of powers. The House of Commons is more just doing a reviser job. And the third difference is that the head of the executive, the Prime Minister, is able to control much what happens in the Commons using party discipline, especially if they have a large majority, but that's not the case in the US. And you could go into all kinds of issues, on cultural issues, on party differences in party discipline. You could look at examples in the US where the president has very little control even of their own party, and the decentralized nature of parties within being far more state focused in America. So I'd have a paragraph on each one of those. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a look at one paragraph in more detail. Difference one then. The US Congress has more legislative powers than the UK one, so I would want to then go on and explain that. So the US has legislative powers explicitly granted in Article 1 of the US Constitution. So unlike the UK, can actually override any presidential veto of legislation. This power is not available to the UK Parliament. So if the Cabinet, Prime Minister and Cabinet make a decision in the UK, I mean, they can stop it, but if the Cabinet and Prime Minister goes, oh, we're not going to do it then, well, it's just not going to happen. The legislature in Britain can't force the executive to do something it doesn't want to do, but that is different in the States. And I'd need evidence on all of this. So I'd talk about the mechanism in America with the 2/3 majority needed in each house to overturn a presidential veto. This in effect gives Congress the power to go over the president's head and make laws. And a recent example of this is it happened to Obama in 2016 in the Justice Against Sponsors of Terrorism Act, which was about giving the victims, families of 9/11 victims, the opportunity to essentially go and sue the Saudi royal family over this. And the vote was very, very clear cut, with 96-1 in the Senate and 348-77 in the House. You then need to link this into one of the theories. So this then fits with the structural theory as the US Constitution is codified with explicit powers for each house or each branch, unlike in the UK. This is a significant difference in that due to these structural differences between the two political systems. So that the theory then backs up why there is this difference and explains why there is this difference. So you go through that element, and that gives you, again, a kind of like a three-part paragraph where you've got your explanation, your evidence from both countries, a bit from both, and then you'll link into your structural theory. And then if you do that 3 times, that should give you a really, really good answer. Thank you very much for watching. Again, please remember to go and look at the comparative theories video as well. If it has helped you, then please give us a like. And also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and there's going to be lots of videos there for you on A-level politics and US politics and UK politics and political ideology, loads and loads of good stuff. And if you subscribe, you get notifications as more and more gets added. Thank you very much for watching.